The air was thick with a strange stillness, as if the walls themselves were holding their breath. Sarah sat alone in the dimly lit room, the only sound the soft ticking of the old grandfather clock in the corner. The hands moved slower than they should, dragging time into a sluggish, heavy crawl. She had been in the house for 3 nights now, though it felt like weeks. Each evening, the same sense of unease crept over her. The lights dimmed on their own. The floorboards creaked under unseen footsteps. The mirrors seemed to reflect something more than just her image, something darker. Sarah tried to shake it off, telling herself it was just the stress, the isolation, the weight of the empty rooms pressing down on her. But deep down, she knew something was wrong. It had started with the whispers. They came at night just as the clock struck 3. Faint at first, like a soft breeze brushing against her ears. Then they grew, weaving through the darkness, wrapping around her thoughts. They spoke in fragments, words she couldn't fully understand. Come closer. It's waiting. Beneath the floor, beneath the skin. One night, as the whispers grew louder, she decided to confront them. She stood in the center of the room, heart racing, breath shallow, staring at the mirror. It reflected her pale face, wide eyes filled with fear. But there was something else. A figure stood just behind her, its features obscured, shadow melting into the dimness. She spun around, but the room was empty. The whispers laughed, a soft, cruel sound that echoed through the walls. Sarah tried to leave, but the door wouldn't budge. The handle twisted under her grasp, but it felt like it was part of the wall, unmoving, solid. Panic surged in her chest, and she slammed her fists against the wood, screaming for help. But no one came. The whispers returned, closer now, as if circling her, whispering in her ear, brushing against her skin. She could feel their presence, cold and damp, like breath from a forgotten tomb. In the mirror, the figure was clearer now. Its eyes were hollow, sunken pits, its mouth a wide, gaping grin. It reached out, pressing a hand against the glass. And Sarah felt it. A cold, sharp pressure on her shoulder, as if the figure was touching her from the other side. Her breath caught, her body froze. She couldn't move. The whispers grew into a roar, filling her mind until she thought she would break. The figure leaned closer, its mouth opening as if to speak, but no sound came out, just the endless, suffocating silence. Then the mirror cracked. It started as a hairline fracture, then spread, spiderwebbing across the surface. The glass pulsed as if alive, the cracks forming symbols, twisted runes she couldn't read but somehow understood. They spoke of hunger, of waiting, of darkness. Sarah fell to her knees, clutching her head, tears streaming down her face. The whispers grew louder, overlapping, becoming a chorus of voices, some familiar, some unknown. They called her name over and over until it wasn't her name anymore. She tried to scream, but the sound died in her throat. Her body felt heavy, her skin cold, her vision blurring as the darkness seeped in. And then, as suddenly as it began, the room fell silent. The clock ticked on, steady and unbothered, as if nothing had happened. But Sarah was gone. The mirror, cracked and dark, showed no reflection. And somewhere, far beneath the floor, the whispers continued, waiting for the next soul to join them. The days blended into each other after Sarah vanished. The house, old and forgotten, sat in eerie silence, as if it had consumed her completely. Dust settled on untouched surfaces, and the air grew colder, thicker, almost suffocating. Weeks passed, but the room where Sarah disappeared remained untouched. The mirror, now cracked and dark, seemed to pulse with a faint, rhythmic vibration, like a heartbeat echoing from deep within the walls. One stormy night, a man named Daniel, curious and unaware, found himself drawn to the abandoned house. He had heard the stories, of course, the whispers in town, the tales of those who had gone missing. But he didn't believe in such things, not until he crossed the threshold. The moment Daniel stepped inside, the air changed. It smelled of damp earth and decay, and the floorboards groaned under his feet as if protesting his presence. He made his way to the room, flashlight trembling in his hand. The mirror, half shattered, reflected his pale face. And something else. A faint outline, barely visible, moved behind him in the reflection. Daniel spun around, heart hammering, but saw nothing, only the darkness. The whispers began, soft at first, curling through the air like smoke, then louder, insistent, wrapping around his mind. They spoke in broken phrases. "She's waiting, under the floor. The mirror sees all." He stumbled back, feeling the temperature drop. The floor beneath him pulsed, and for a brief moment... That's all for our video, friends. If you want more videos like this, please specify them in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Have a nice day.